TheHiTechNomad here, and today I'm going to show you how to create an interactive 360-degree walkthrough just like this for free in about 5 minutes. Let's take a look. Okay, so we're going to create a interactive 3D walking tour. And it sounds really complex, but it's actually very easy. So the first thing I did just to do this is I went to my local mall and I took a series of images. Now, I have a video that talks about which 360 camera. I actually happen to use the Gear 360 on this one. But if you're interested in trying to figure out which 360 camera to use, whether it's the old Gear 360 or the new Gear 360 or the Insta Air, you can take a look at that video and I'll put a link up top or below for that. In any event, so we have our pictures, and once you take your pictures and you save them to your computer, you get this equi-rectangular view. So this is a 360, this is 360 degrees, but it sort of flattens it out like the old map of the world that you would see in social studies class. So it's the whole thing, it's just sort of flattened out here. And we'll talk a little bit more about that later because there's a thing called metadata that determines whether it knows whether it needs to wrap it or not wrap it. In any event, so I went to my mall, and of course, some people will be able to find some of those people staring at me at some point. But anyway, I went to the mall. I went to the center of the mall, and I pointed my camera in one direction. So even though it's 360, I tried to point it in the direction that I wanted you to start in because that's the focal point where it starts. And there is a way of changing that, but it's not easy. And I'll talk about that in a different video. But I wanted to make sure that I had it the way that I wanted it, the way I wanted people to see it. So, for example, this is taken from the ground floor, and I took took an image of this. Then I went upstairs to the second level, and I took a series of images, and I tried to point myself at it. So for example, I try to take one at 12 o'clock, 3 o'clock, 6 o'clock, 9 o'clock, so that when we do our little interactive project here, we can actually sort of move around. So that's what all of the rest of these are. So these are taken from different positions up top, 3, 6, 9, 12. And I try to point the way that I wanted you to be looking when we do our interactive project. Because as I said, changing that focal point, changing that where it's looking when it goes to that image is a little difficult. So we have our 4 images, 5 images, whatever that is. So now we need a platform. We need something to do that on. Well, I found a great website called Vizor. Now, Vizor, they're still working on this piece, and they're working on the editor, and they're working on pricing, but right now it's free to use. So use it. At some point in time, I'm sure they're going to come back and say to host things there, it's going to be this amount or that amount. But right now, they're still working on it. And so it's free to use. So I highly suggest, hopefully they'll grandfather all of us that have accounts. I strongly suggest setting up an account with them right away. So after you set up an account, which is just giving out your email address and confirming, we can then go into the editor. And the editor is full screen. You'll see that coming up here now. And it says, welcome. Are you ready to create a new project? You can put it on the Vimeo channel, and then you can look at Slack to interact with them. So we're just going to say create a new project. And there's not a whole bunch of instructions at this particular point, which is why I'm doing this video, but you'll get this. This is super, super easy. So each image is going to be a scene. And we're going to start off with scene 1, which is what we want to see. This is what you're going to see when you first start. So we have our scene. Then we have a couple of different tools up here. We have a selection tool, a hotspot tool, basically a comment tool, and then we have position and interaction off to the side. We have a little preview, and then we have share when we're done. So after I do like the first one, you're going to be like, wow, that's super easy. So let's go in and add our first image. Now, I took these with the Gear 360 and I reset my camera so that the images are actually in order, so I don't actually have to figure out what I'm doing here. My images are in order. The first one is 300, the second one is 301, 302, 303, 304, 305. We could load these all in, but we're going to do them one at a time. So we're going to load in image 300. So it's uploading that image. It's going to take a second, and then we'll be able to see it. And again, it's on that position just as I started. Now, I think they were going to let you change that, but I don't think they've added that yet. So they probably are going to add that at some point in time. Because as I said, when you start these images, it's not always exactly the way that you want it. So you sort of have to do it the way you want. There's another way of getting around that, but I'm not going to get bogged down on that right now. All right. So here is image number 1. So let's we're going to go now, we add a second image, and that will be image 301 that we're going to put in. Here we go, 301, putting that in. Okay. Now, 301 happens to be behind us and up. So if we call this 12 o'clock, it's actually at 6 o'clock. And you're going to see how we're going to do this in 1 second, because it's super, super, super easy. All right. So we'll go back to interaction, and we're going to turn around, and that's where we're going to we want to jump up there. So we're going to come over to scene link, and we're going to put a little click right there. And now we have to tell it which scene we want it to link to, or what do we want it to link to? So we want it to link to image 301. Okay. And we can call that Dick's, just because it is Dick's Sporting Good. And we have a choice of either a circle, a pin, a floor, or a custom if we have our own little icon. I'm going to just put the circle because I think that's a little easier to see. And again, we can sort of adjust the focal point, but again, it's not 100% right now. All right. So that is pretty much it. You're like, what do you mean that's it? Well, let's go down and preview it and see how this works. So we're going to go ahead and click on preview. And here we are here. And now when we look up, we see Dick's, and we're going to click on that. And now we're up there. Now we're up at Dick's. Of course, now we're stuck up here. So that's where we're going to go back. And now we're going to go on Dick's. And we will click down here. We're going to click another little link. And I bet you're getting this right now, and you're like, wow, is it really that easy? Yeah, it's really that easy. So we're going to link back to the original image. We'll make that a circle, because I like that. And we could call it something. I'll leave that one blank. And now we can get between those 2 points. So when I'm up here, there we go. We're down there. And we can turn around and click up here. And we're up here, and we can look around. And you saw why I didn't want to shoot the image this way and I didn't want the focal point to be this way when it starts, because it just doesn't make any sense. We don't want to disorient the person. So I have it that you're looking up at the Dick's piece, you click on that, and then you're there. So it does seem like we just jumped up to that spot. So I think you can figure out where this is going to go from here. Let's go ahead and load another scene. And this will be image 302 whenever this opens up. Can you imagine that? It's this easy. It's that easy. This easy, that easy. You get the idea. So we'll do 2, and then we'll do them one at a time, just because it's a little easier to do. Okay. So this image, I'm just going to go and take a look at it so I can remember where this is. This is at the 6 o'clock position. So this is over by whatever the heck this is. I can see what that is. Okay, so now I'm going to go back down to my first position. I'm going to swing around, and we're up there. And I think you already know how this is going to work. So I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to click right there. I'm going to click on it so that we can actually change it. I'm going to select 302. I'm not going to put a label on it. I'm just going to put a circle, and we are done with that one. And so now we have 2 spots up there. Now let's come up here, and let's sort of put another spot up here for them. So if we actually click a little spot there, we're going to click on that. We're going to do 302 from this. I'm going to turn this into a circle, and we're all set on that. And then we're going to come over here. All right. And then we're going to come back over here, and we're going to just click right over here. We're going to turn that, click on that. We're going to make that 301. We're going to make that a circle. I'll stop talking any minute now. Oop. Now, problem here. I got myself in the way here, but that's all right. You get the idea. So I will go ahead. I meant to hold this over my head. Clearly, I did not, but we'll make that to scene 300. We'll turn that into a circle, and now we've got, so now we can move between all of those points. Actually, let me make sure that 2, so up 2. Yep, we can get from there, and when we're up here, we can get to 1, and we can get to 2. Okay, so now we're going to load 303, which will just take a little second here. So we'll do 303. Did I go all the way around? I think I did. So let's go to 303. I don't think I did. So let's come back over here. Here we are by the jewelry store there. Okay, so I know exactly where that is. So I'll come back over here while it's still loading. That's okay. And we will click our interaction piece, and we'll click it right there. And again, we will come back. So that's 303 and a circle. And now we're going to come up to 303, and here we are here. I see what I probably, well, it's so you can see the focal point is going to be up here, but I probably should have changed the focal point here, but that's all right. And again, my big bulbous head is in the way, but that's okay. And I think you understand how this is going to work out now. So we'll make that a circle, and that's going to link back down there. And we'll create another one here. It's going to be off a little bit, but that's all right. So we'll come over here, create another, well, we actually create it like that, off to the side a little bit. Yeah, we'll put it right there, just because we don't want it to be too obnoxious. And that's going to link to 301. And you can see that, now I could have labeled these, it would have labeled, if I had labeled it, we'd be able to figure out what we're doing. But you can see by labeling them 1, 2, 3, by shooting them as 1, 2, 3, 4, that's just as easy to figure out what's going on over there. And we will click on that. And come on. Oh, that's me doing that. So we're going to click 301, 302, and you see it very smartly does not let you see ones that don't make any sense. And we'll do one more. Do we do one more? Yeah, we'll do one more, and then we'll sort of move around here. I'm hoping I went all the way around. I'm now thinking maybe I didn't. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4. We'll come over and take a look at 4. And I did this up here. Yeah, see, that's wrong. I know that's wrong. That's way down the other end of the hallway. All right, so we can we'll leave that. We won't link that into our scene. That's all. We'll just muddle right along here, and now we can actually preview that. So now I can say, I want to be up here, and here we are up here. I say I want to go over here, and again, because I am fairly accurate here with the camera placement, it's gonna give us the look that we want. So we can jump around them all, look around. Now we're on a website, obviously. This will also work with the Gear VR. Now in the Gear VR, we would actually be able to just turn our head and sort of look around and then put the cursor on the spot, and we could jump to that spot. Now, this is good for, obviously, still images. It's not doing video. Actually, let's do one other thing since we're sort of going along here. So, aside from the hotspot editor, we can also add this sort of media editor. So we can click on the media and click on this, and then we get a choice of what we want it to do. So we double click on that, and we have a choice of showing an image, showing image and a text, or pretty much all text. So we're going to come here, and we're going to say public, public charging, public charging station. Use this handy station, SDATION, thank you, handy to recharge your phone. Okay, so that's all we have to do for that. We can come back here and we'll go ahead and we'll preview that again. And you can click on that and you see it goes right to that and then goes back. I'm going to leave you the links for these because you're going to see that you can actually even do this on your phone. So you don't have to be on a laptop or a PC or whatever. You'll be able to do this in Gear VR and you'll be able to do this right on your phone. Let's do one other media piece with this. And let's add another. So we're going to go back to edit. And let's get the Dick's Sporting Good logo. I don't think they'll mind. If they do, we're in trouble. So we'll get a Dick's Sporting Good logo. Go ahead and save that image. Any second now. There we go. All right. And now we'll go back to here and we're going to go to our second level here and we'll add media and we'll click right there and we'll double click on that. And this time we'll use the image and the text, and it says we can upload an image. So we'll go ahead and we'll upload their logo, which is one section up. There we go, one here. And again, I like to do these. I know I have to chatter along here, but I like to do these in real time so you actually see what's going on. So now we'll just highlight that and we'll say Dick's Sporting Goods. The best sporting goods. Let's see, SP. Yeah, sporting goods store on Earth. Okay. They can't have a problem with that, right? They're not gonna get upset with us for that. All right. And we can even move this over just a little bit if we want to. Just kind of put it there like that. And let's go ahead and preview that. And bada boom, bada bing. And you can actually even put in, let's go back to the editor. You can actually put a link in. So if we wanted to put a link in, we can say, visit now. I'm assuming it's dicksportinggoods.com. I'll just go to Google for it now. So we'll just go ahead. I don't think we have to highlight that. Do we have to highlight that? Yeah, there we go. So you can see when we highlight that, because I don't know what their logo, I don't know where it is. We'll do it. All right, we'll do it right. So we'll say Dick's Sporting Goods. Where is it? Yeah. All right, we're gonna do it. We might as well just do it right. All right. So we're gonna come here, go to their website, make sure that we have the right URL. We're going to come back over here. We'll come back here. We'll erase that. We'll put that there like that so that they can see. And then we'll highlight that. And we'll do a right link. And then put that right in there for them. Okay, there we go. And now we can preview that. So now when we are up the top there, we can click on that. We're going to get a nice page. And then if we actually click on it, it's going to actually take us right to their site. Okay. If we click back or click off of that, we can click down. Okay. So easy peasy, lemon squeezy. And now what do we do with this? How do we get this to a website? How do we use this? Again, really simple. Let's just click on the share key. It asks us if we want to share it or publish it. If we click share, it says, do we want to see it as a draft? Do we want to have a link? Or do we want to go ahead and embed it? I'm going to go ahead and say publish because it just makes sense. So let's say mall demo. And we'll say publish. And it says publishing. And then it says publish. And now you see it says view project, copy link, copy embedded code. So if you want to put this in your website, you can go ahead and just click on that, and you'll see it gives you some nice code. If you just want to have a link, like I'm going to have a link down below so you can take a look at that, you can just click on link. And then if you actually want to view it as someone would view it, you can go ahead and click on view project. And after a second, it will, so you can see it's all set. They give you your own little sort of workspace there. And the first time it takes a few seconds for it to warm up, as you can see. And then you can see we have full screen immersion. You can see it's a little blurry. It's blurry the first time while it loads it. There we go. See? All right. Oh, was that guy staring at me? He was. The kid wasn't interested, but the guy was. Okay. And then we can come up here and click on the link. And again, the first time that it's published, it takes a few minutes for it to be lickety-split quick. But then we have our little section here. And we have now created an interactive 360 virtual reality walkthrough, and it took us, 10 minutes.